what we'll be doing today. First, we're going to start with the proclamation that was signed by Mayor Romero, celebrating this day as our 100th anniversary. And then we will have our honored elected officials come and talk about the impact of the League on our community. Then we're going to cut a yellow cake and a brown cake. And then while you're eating the cake, the suffragette songbirds are going to entertain you with 4 songs. Now I do want to tell you, if you were in Phoenix yesterday and you heard the songbirds yesterday, there's one special song you did not hear that you get to hear today. So let's begin with Paul Duran, who's going to read to us the proclamation that Mayor Romero recently signed.
Whereas on February 14th, 2020, the League of Women Voters, as part of the National League of Women Voters, LVW, will celebrate its 100th anniversary. I don't get to go to many 100 birthday parties. The League of Women Voters, having been founded just 6 months before the 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote after a 72-year history of struggle. From its inception, the League of Women Voters has been a nonpartisan grassroots organization whose leaders believe that citizens should play a critical role in advocacy. And whereas the League of Women Voters seeks to improve our government and support informed and active civil engagement in the democratic process, knowing that a government of the people, by the people, and for the people cannot function without active participation of its citizenry. And whereas the League of Women Voters is fully committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion in principle and in practice to ensure that elections are free, fair, and accessible, and that all eligible voters should have the equal opportunity to exercise their fundamental right to vote. And whereas the League of Women Voters Tucson chapter has encourages all eligible Tucsonans to register to vote and to help their family, friends, and neighbors to register by October 5 in order to vote in the November 3 general election. The League of Women Voters Tucson chapter encourages media and social media outlets to work together to educate Tucsonans about how to register, sign up for election reminders, check their registration online, get vote by mail ballots, learn about early voting, and how to sign up for the permanent early voting list, PEVL, and access the Pima County Recorder's Office to get the most up-to-date voter registration and election information. Whereas the League of Women Voters Tucson chapter assists in these efforts by sponsoring public voter education programs, disseminating informational voter materials, making members available to speak at programs sponsored by other organizations, and providing ongoing voter registration opportunities for the city residents. Now therefore, I, Regina Romero, Mayor of Tucson, Mayor of the City of Tucson, Arizona, do hereby proclaim February 14th to be 100th anniversary of the League of Women Voters. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Tucson to be affixed this 10th day of December. Regina Romero, Mayor.
first of all, I want to say some things about the League of Women Voters. You guys have been wonderful partners with my office through all the years that I've been in office, but even more so recently because we're doing multiple partnerships with the swearing-in ceremonies, which we did attend one this morning at the Jewish Community Center. There's 150 citizens being sworn in, and that's a big crowd because we're there, passport's there, and it's a celebration of events. This is a way we can register them, and we don't have to go through the process of them having to providing proof of citizenship again. We can attest that one, and we take care of all the southern Arizona counties. So you've been wonderful partners. You had 6 people there to help us fill out the forms, work in cooperation with my staff. So with that said, I want to tell you something as we prepare for the 2020 election. I've already worked with the media. We've had cooperation with the media saying that government is the trusted source for information. It's the Pima County Recorder's Office and the Secretary of State's office. The challenges that we face through social media of putting wrong information out and directing them, we implore people to connect to my website. If you hear something out there, get all the fact-finding information you can so we can go out there and address that. I said the same thing to the media. I says, don't go run a show out there, because the time you aired it, by the time I find out about it, the damage has been done out there to the public. And we don't want this. This is how democracy works. Okay, so we've all got to pay attention as good stewards of our community. With that said, I also want to tell you about that my office has been very, very busy this week. Over the weekend, surprisingly, we had 3,000 easy voter records coming through Service, Arizona.
Wow.
Which is good. A lot of new registrations. I'll give a detailed report from January to the end of this cutoff. As we are reaching out to people to inform them that this election, the presidential preference election, the participant is only the registered Democrat Party. Folks, this is not something new. When the standing incumbent happens to be whatever party affiliation, they stick with the standing thing. That happened when President Obama, then the Democrats didn't want to pay attention. But it's the educating of those that are the independents or party not designated. Because our state law said that they can just ask for which political party ballot without changing their registration. So it just changes a lot of confusion out there. But we are actually running the party process election, and this started when Governor Symington was in office, so it's not the first time. It's the most challenging election of informing the voters. So if you can help us get that word out to those, and we say, you can change your party affiliation to Democrat, and then wait till after the election and flip back again. We're just processing paper, folks, that's what we do. So we've had a lot of busy records, and in one day we had 2,500 voters come through Service, Arizona on Tuesday. So we're extremely busy, and that's not including all the various groups and candidates out there working. I see a lot of candidates that are here for up there saying, I know what you guys are doing, you're busy, Make sure you educate your volunteers. But if there are any groups out there that want to have somebody from my office come in and do a demonstration on the importance of what the things that we need to have for make sure they complete a form, we'd be happy to come in there and do an educational component. It's something that we do. It's a service that we provide to make sure that nobody falls into pitfalls. Okay. So I come here to celebrate the League because it's a wonderful day. It's a wonderful thing that we have, and it's truly grateful that we have democracy here in America. Some people don't like the end results. That's how it is. And I think I give a lot of credit to the voters and the citizens out there. They know what they're doing. They know what's happening in the country. We just need to get more participating. I always said my world will be perfect if I could get all the citizens that we have currently registered today just voting. Things would be wonderful. One of the gifts I bring here for you today, I have these little magnets.
Just vote.
Just vote. I left them there at the table, so feel free to take them. It's an encouragement. I'm not telling you how to vote. I'm just saying vote. Don't come to me after election and say you don't like X, Y, and Z because they got elected. And then I say, are you registered and did you vote? Let's just send that message on there and be positive. And let's also take a time to reflect also that, I've been in office for 28 years. Politics has changed drastically since I was first elected. And we got to go back to being kind and respecting one another's opinions and not do the slash and burn anymore. That's not what this country is built on. And getting back to the basics of respecting one another. Okay, so congratulations, enjoy the festivities, and I'll let the next speaker go on, and congratulations.
I was thinking about what I would share, and it's what the league means to me as an individual. And reflecting back on my experience with the league, the TV show that came to my head was the McNeil Lehrer Report. Remember that? Balanced, non-hyperbolic, just kind of a let's look at the issues and bring in the left and the right and the center and talk about it. We have so totally lost that now. You turn on, pick your channel, MSNBC, Fox, and it's like you're listening to two completely different conversations about two completely different issues. And so what I was thinking about was 100 years, God almighty, what have we gone through since 1919, right? In this country, and this will lead up to a conclusion as to the importance of the League. Went through World War I, and then the Depression. And the League was in existence throughout all of this, remember. World War I, the Depression, World War II, major international events, domestic events, Korean War. And I came along and we had the Vietnam War and we had Nixon and we had marches in the street for civil rights and the ERA, and we're still doing, aren't we, Victoria? And the Environment, Voter Rights, Civil Rights Act, all in the 60s. 1968, a year in the history of this country where we lost significant community leaders. And then through the 70s, and now we're up to today. And we have probably, in all those major international domestic events that I just described, at least in my estimation, the most divided and acrimonious and unable to sit in the same room at the same time and have a civil conversation set of politics and social issues that has existed in my life anyway, and I'm in my mid-60s. And probably since the League was formed 100 years ago. Now more than ever do we need a forum such as the League of Women Voters, where we can get people into a room and have a civil discourse about really contentious events and issues. And so as we enter, as F.Ann was just saying, as we enter this 2020 election season, I embrace the entire ethos of the League of Women Voters as we step towards these elections, that you all will put together forums in which civil decorum and the ability to simply elicit facts and put them out there and then let the electorate make the decision. Contrary to the social media and the TV talking heads who now are no longer like McNeil Lehrer, but it's just a circular firing squad on the air. So thank you for being here and representing the values that you do. I know that you will continue to. Even when I asked for more time and to speak in my last election campaign, you said no. You get 3 minutes, just like everybody else. So hold to your standards until next time I'm on the dais. No, so seriously, so the League stands for some really significant and important things in our country, and as I say, now more than ever. So thank you for the invitation. Thank you for listening.
I just have to tell you something about F.Ann Rodriguez before I begin. I filed my clean election petitions, $5 and petitions on the 2nd of January. On the 3rd, her office took a picture and explained what the process was, looking at all of my clean election $5 forms And someone verified the signature and verified that they were indeed in my legislative district too. So I really like that. And they didn't identify me as a candidate. They said some other candidate. So thank you for that. I've been in Arizona almost 16 years, and I was a member of the league back in New Jersey. I'm representing today the league in Green Valley. We're a small but mighty group. I was thinking about how the league has impacted me, and our leader is Sue Gerardo, who many of you know. And I want to thank Sue and Mary for when we were doing this, when you endorsed the Save Our Schools initiative. It was in the heat of the summer, and both of them came forward, and I gave them petitions to circulate, even though it was very, 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 very hot. And I also support the bipartisan outlaw dirty money, which you've also endorsed. So thank you for that. Every Thursday, Rivco Knox, your lobbyist in retiring, or maybe not retiring, I'm not sure, has kept me company every Thursday morning when we met at 9 o'clock. From last Thursday, the Thursday before, and the Thursday before. I'm the senior member of Senate Judiciary, the only person from Southern Arizona of either party, and the only woman. I've been there the longest, so I try to push my weight around a little bit. Rivco Knox talks about suppression of voter rights, about the current attacks on initiatives and the initiative process, and she is just a real trooper. I want to thank both Evan Rodriguez and her office and the League of Women Voters. I mailed out 5,500 in the mail and 500 email constituent service newsletters. And I have a little picture of me, how to contact my office, what's going on at the legislative website. But 2/3 of the page is dedicated to three things. The biggest part, the presidential preference. So I may be responsible for some of your business. The second part was attention, 17-year-olds. If you're going to be 18 by November 3rd, register to vote now. And the last one was a little self-serving because I have a primary, the change in the primary date from the last Tuesday in August to the 1st. I just want to thank you, and if you ever want to book me to talk about my work on the Judiciary Committee for the last 7 years, I'd be happy to come and talk to you in a nonpartisan way about it. Thank you very much for this time.
First, I'm here to say thank you. Thank you to all the efforts of all the women who today stand working with the League of Women Voters and who have done that from the very beginning. You know, it was once said that the price of democracy is eternal vigilance. The price of democracy is eternal vigilance. What that means to me is something I believe that our founding fathers put into the documents that founded this country, which it meant it relies on the fact that our electorate is an educated electorate. They understand who they're voting for, what they're voting for, what their beliefs are, who they're supporting. And that is the foundation of this democracy. It is a pillar of this democracy. And as the League of Women Voters, you all have played a crucial role in that effort. Because without an educated democracy, we don't get the ERA. We don't get women's suffrage. We don't get civil rights. We don't get many of the freedoms that we enjoy as Americans today. So the truth is, you all here are going to have a legacy in the same form that that legacy of the League of Women Voters has had on those important and crucial issues in this country. So I want to thank you all for the efforts that you put forth in the past, and more so on the efforts that you are going to put forward in the future. So thank you all very, very much.
I'm very happy to be here with you all. Again, I'm Paul Durham, council member from Tucson's Ward 3. You know, I lived in Washington for 12 years, and DC, and I sold my house to Laura Ingram. And I attended the closing by telephone from Colorado Springs. And where I had my new job. And I learned this later, but every issue she had raised, and there were many, many issues, she stormed out of the closing, and the real estate agents went running after her, and they said, we'll take it out of our commission. It's fine. It was a 5-hour closing. So I leave you with that story from Laura Abraham. I want to thank Vivian for inviting me. I know we all agree about how important the League's work in protecting voter rights, fighting voter suppression, and supporting an informed electorate. Thank you all for, thank you, and keep up the good work. We must get on board with the League of Women Voters is doing to ensure a future with opportunity for all. I was thinking of my own impact from the League of Women Voters. Most of you know I grew up in Spokane, Washington. When I was 17, I had the ability to attend a series hosted by the League of Women Voters of the Spokane area. The series focused on great decisions relating to how we as an electorate should seek to shape our foreign and local policy. It inspired me to think differently about how we as individuals and through civic organizations can affect political change. I know the League and their chapters all over the country have huge impacts for so many of us. I want to thank our local League members and of course all the members from the Spokane area for continuing to shine light on how we can move forward to protect and strengthen our democracy. Thank you and congratulations on your 100 years of extraordinary accomplishments.
So on this beautiful and auspicious day, I would like to wish you Happy Valentine's Day and Happy Statehood Day. Arizona is 108 years old today. I would also like to wish you happy anniversary, happy 100th anniversary to the League of Women Voters of Greater Tucson. The League was founded just 6 months before the 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote, after 72 years of hard struggle. The League of Women Voters is dedicated to the ideal of civic engagement in this democratic process, that a government of the people, by the people, and for the people cannot function without the active participation of its citizenry. Women have achieved much since this league was founded. Today, we stand on the shoulders of many courageous women, women who have fought, who have been beaten, who have starved, who have been force-fed, who have been jailed, all in the fight for women's rights. We have achieved remarkable milestones, and we have proven that we are indeed better together. But our work is far from done, and we know that. It has been nearly 100 years since the Equal Rights Amendment was introduced in Congress by Alice Paul in 1923. And we are not quitting until women are included in the United States Constitution. And even then, we are not done. We are not done because, as several of you have already said, we must remain vigilant in protecting our precious democracy. Happy anniversary to the League of Women Voters of Greater Tucson.
My grandmother told me before she passed was, don't go get a poll, just talk to a few members of the league and you'll get a good idea of what you need to be thinking about. I think it was very sage advice. Without the League of Women Voters, I don't think my grandmother ever would have even thought about running for judge, let alone winning. But one thing I wanted to congratulate Kathleen on your election, and good luck. Vivian did an amazing job as president. Actually, all the officers, congratulations, as we've talked over the years. The one thing I can say on a personal basis is that the league provides incredible voter and objective voter education in the Tucson Council races. And I know it's to all races, but as on a personal note, I really appreciate it. It's I consider missing that debate hardened sin if you wanted to run for city council. But the other thing I wanted to say is that Tucson's really lucky. Tucson's really lucky because we have a very special chapter of the League of Women Voters. I mean, you go to other cities and they may not be as active. They may not have as many such amazing leadership and such amazing leaders in the community in their League of Women Voters. And we do that in Tucson. It makes us unique. We have a very special chapter of League of Women Voters, one that stands out around the country, and that's really what I wanted to tell the League of Women Voters of Tucson. Congratulations on the 100 years for the national, and we're coming up on 80 years for the Tucson chapter. So give yourselves a round of applause, and thank you very much.
We have over 300 members, and one of my first jobs as president was to call all those members who weren't active, and in order to find out how many were not active, I had all the committee chairs tell me who had been active so I could see who hadn't been. Over 200 of our members are active. That's 2/3 of our membership. And so I called these ladies and men, and I said, you know, would you like to be more active? What would you like to do? And so many of them said, you know what, I just support your organization with money, with the dues. That's all I want to do to support your organization. And I said, thank you very much, because that's important too. Most nonprofit volunteer organizations don't have 2/3 of their membership being active, and we do, and I am so proud of that. And I would like to call up County Supervisor Steve Christie.
Good afternoon, everybody, and I'm honored and pleased to be here. I want to introduce my Chief of Staff, Beth Corazon. You may recognize Corazon, her last name. Her father was a mayoral candidate, a newscaster here, so I'm very pleased to have Beth on my team. I think the one element on a larger scale that I want to bring up is the forums and the services that the League of Women Voters provides this community. We've had some interesting forums and venues that I think have really led to some great discussions and to some education of our citizenry in the constable races, in the justice of the peace races, and in many other races that we would not have the opportunity to know about the candidates, what they believe in, what they stand for, and how they perceive their responsibilities, if it weren't for the League of Women Voters providing that forum. They do such a fabulous job. All of you do such a fabulous job, and it's a real service to our community, and for that I thank you very much. In addition to my congratulations for a 100th anniversary, on a personal note, just growing up, and with Councilman Kozaczek, I'm roughly the same age as he is, so I know those times, and I know those years, and I know those eras that we all came through. But whenever you had the term, the name, or the title of League of Women Voters behind some event, behind some process, behind some organization, it got your attention, and you knew it had validity, and you knew it had ethics, and you knew it had reliability. And it was that way 100 years ago, and it's still that way 100 years later, and especially today. So congratulations for that. Congratulations on your 100th anniversary.
It's called Let's All Vote. Now, I wrote this in 1984, for the presidential election, but I didn't record it and sing it out in public until 2018. So I updated it to 2020. Now, what's the date of our next general election? November 3rd. Okay, that didn't rhyme in my song, so I made it November 3. All right, okay, here's what it goes. On November 3, be part of the team. It's time to come to the aid of America. On November 3, you need to be seen. It's time to come to the aid of America. Go to the polls and cast your vote. Time to have your say. Let your voice be heard now. We can make such a beautiful way. We can create such a beautiful day. On November 3, let's dream the dream. It's time to come to the aid of America. On November 3, you need to be seen. It's time to come to the aid of America. We need your vote. We need it right now to help democracy. Vote for the people you like the best. You are the key to keep America free. On November 3, be part of the team. It's time to come to the aid of America. On November 3, you need to be seen. It's time to come to the aid. Come to the aid. Come to the aid of America.
Anybody do that one? Can I do this one? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
So the first one is called Let Us Speak Our Minds. No, let us all speak our minds. You are right. See how she helps me? Men tell us 'tis fit that wives should submit to their husbands submissively we plead. Though whatever they say, their wives should obey. Stupidly. Our husbands would make us their own dictum take without ever a wherefore or a why for it. But I don't and I can't, and I won't and I shan't. No, I will speak my mind if I die for it. For we know it's all fudge to say man's the best judge of what should be and shouldn't and so on. The woman should bow nor attempt to say how she considers that matters should go on. I never yet gave myself up as a slave. However, my husband might try for it. But I don't and I can't, and I won't and I shan't. No, I will speak my mind if I die for it. Man is greater than his mother. No man is half so good. No man is better than the wife he loves. Her love will guide him, whatever betide him. She's good enough to love you and adore you. She's good enough to bear your troubles for you. And if your tears were falling today, nobody else would kiss them away. She's good enough to warm your heart with kisses when you are lonesome and blue. She's good enough to be your baby's mother, and she's good enough to vote with you. La 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 la. Men plunge the world in war and sadness. She must protest in vain. Let's hope and pray someday we'll hear her say, stop all your madness, I bring you gladness.
She's good enough to love you and adore you. She's good enough to bear your troubles for you. And if your tears were falling today, nobody else would kiss them away. She's good enough to warm your heart with kisses when you are lonesome and blue. She's good enough to be your baby's mother, and she's good enough to vote with